Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Today we have with us Sumit and we are going to do a deep down into the white paper that the Modi government has put out about how the UPA handled the economy, as well as we'll be also looking at Modi's Vision 3.0, what he's looking for. Is he looking ahead for the next decade or for the next 1,000 years? All this and more with Sumit ji. But first, please like this video, and if you have not subscribed to our channel already, please do subscribe to our channel. Here we go. Sumit ji, namaskar, Ram Ram, how are you?
Ram Ram, namaskar, pranam, vanakkam, radhe radhe. All good and well, sir. All fine.
So, Sumit ji, see, what you are seeing in my backdrop, that is who painted my money white, tells one of the biggest scams that the UPA did about how they basically brought in fake currency, mixed it into the system, and that money is still, doing the rounds in India. One estimate says 4 lakh crores of fake currency entered the system through various places, mostly, in 3 or 4, it doesn't matter where it came from. But at that time, it was a cash-based economy. So the money multiplier was 10 times. That means up until 2016, when demonetization was done, the impact of this fake currency was close to 40 lakh crores. So I want to let that thing sink in. What has that done? People have bought up land across river fronts, along the one big national highway in Kerala, and along ocean fronts. Anything that is of value in real estate has been bought up by one community, which was the beneficiary of this largesse. What did they do in return? They voted for Rahul Gandhi in Wayanad once. Not even sure if they'll vote for him again. This is what has happened, but they have wreaked havoc in the system. So I'll put that thing as a starting point. You have done the adhyayan, you have done the research on the white paper. Take it away, sir.
Sir, in the name of Bhagwan 𝗤𝙗𝗎 Ganesha, let's do to 𝗤𝙗𝗎 Ganesha. And let me tell you, it was, I think, Tuesday, and I was at the Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Foundation. They had invited me for a lecture, and there were a lot of young minds I was talking to. And you will not believe me, I was talking about this demonetization and all, and somebody quoted me, "Sir, there's a book from Mr. Sree Iyer, and he has written Who Painted My Money White. You should read that." Definitely I read that. So I mean, and I was very happy to see he was a 23-year-old young man, and he had read the book and he knew what was inside the book. He could get what I was trying to say. So, the kind of work which we are doing, I think it is reaching to the right set of people somewhere. And this was very happy to see young 23-year-old boy exactly knew what was in the book. So what you have written as a bestseller is not like that. Only it has gone to the right people at the right level. So they know what happened. Now, I wanted to compliment you for that. I missed my mind on Tuesday.
Dhanyos me.
Thank you, sir. And so let's start today. You see, it all started on when Madam Nirmala Sitharaman presented the interim budget. She said, this is the interim budget. This is what we are going to do. And we will be presenting a white paper in due course of time. How did UPA ruin the economy? And how did we push it back? And how did we kind of get it back? In the meantime, between these two events, there have been two addresses. One is Prime Minister Modi, motion of thanks to the President Murmu, what we discussed. And then he addressed the parliament. I think yesterday he addressed the parliament, and there was a lot of things which he said about the Congress and all. And then he also gave the vision of Modi 3.0. What does Modi 3.0 have? Because a lot of people were talking about what is in the Modi Vision 3.0, what is going to have and how it is going to impact us. And, is it a 10-year plan? What you rightly said, is a 1,000-year plan? Is a 100-year plan? What exactly is going to happen? And the most important thing, what will happen in next 5 years? Because at the end of the day, a lot of people are interested in 5 saal mein kya hoga? What's going to happen in next 5 years? So all these questions got answered. Now, if we come to today's paper of Nirmala Sitharaman, the first thing she talked about, we were at Fragile 5. We were at Fragile 5. Now we are at Top 5. So from Fragile 5 to Top 5, there has been a big transformation. And I've been always talking about one thing which people tend to forget. Let me remind them again. You see, when Prime Minister Modi took over, he looked at the banks, did a preliminary audit shows 20,000 crores of loss. But when the audit was done in detail, it showed 80,000 crores of losses. Banks were literally shaking. They were almost on the edge. They could just slip off. Now, a lot of people advise Prime Minister Modi, why don't you come up with a white paper and declare this? He said, if I come up with a white paper, that will be the end of Indian economy. That will be the end of India's story. I will politically safeguard myself, but the country will go down the drain. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to come up with any white paper. We are going to work together and, salvage the situation. If you remember exactly at that time, there was a lot of, a lot of those arrows fired, which said Modi ko economy nahi aati, is bad at economy, is disaster at economy, and Modi is not. And one, Mr. Chidambaram said that what Modi knows about economy can be written on the back of a stamp, not paper, stamp. That small stamp. That is the knowledge he has. So Prime Minister Modi took the risk of not issuing a white paper and pulling the economy. That is the greatest favor he did to the nation. And there were so many attacks on him, And everything which he said was, challenged. Everything which was challenged. So let me remind my viewers again. Look, friends, that point of time, the bank NPAs were 14.5%. 14.5%. Now, if you go, I think around 2 months, 3 months back, we talked on PGurus. Now the NPAs are down to 4.5%, and they have a profit of 1 lakh crores. From a loss of 80,000 crores to a profit of 1 lakh crores, it happened, and the NPAs from 14.5 to 4.5. This is the biggest thing which could have happened. Second point, Nirmala ji said, in 90s, under the leadership of Narasimha Rao ji, a lot of reforms were initiated by the then Congress government. But unfortunately, in 2004, they decided to shelf everything. They decided to shelf everything and not to take them any forward. That's point number 2. Point number 3, let's not forget the infamous MOU, which Sri Rahul Gandhi ji signed with Xi Jinping, the Chinese Communist Party. What is inside that MOU? What they were supposed to do? What they were supposed to deliver? We don't know. What we can only estimate or think is that possibly it was a free trade agreement where the banks were on the verge. The economy was literally getting shattered, and then you could have the Chinese have a free hold in India, a free run in India. They could come and dump all their items in India and systematically kill the Indian industry. We even have those instances when Elon Musk wanted to come around a few years back with a made in China car, which we opposed, and he had to back out. So we have seen all those happen. We have seen all these things happen. So that is the point number 2, what Nirmala ji had to say. Point number 3 was policy paralysis. There was no policy. Not taking any decision was considered the best decision. Point number 4. Then I'm going to talk about some numbers also today. Some very interesting numbers today. Point number 4, what they said, because of this, scams. For example, you talk of the CWG. CWG was a 10-12 day event, and you ended up with a mountain of scam. Even in that 10-12 day event, what happened? There was a mountain of scams which happened even during that. Then you had this Augusta Gate, you have this Coal Gate, you had so many scams, around 15 or 20 of them which happened after one. And there were a lot of them which were smaller in nature, which were never discussed. For example, a lot of people will not know about a crop insurance scam. Kisans were given the Kisan card, and the crop insurance was, okay, Modi's economics can be high. I remember this. Sir. This is, और इनको मोदी जी ने कहा था ब्रह्मांड का सबसे बड़ा अर्थशास्त्री, the biggest economics of the whole universe. That is how he addressed Mr. Chidambaram in the parliament, by the way. So there were a lot of scams which never got reported. There were a lot of things which never got reported. And the alibi was given that, if the proceeds of crime are not found, there's no crime happened. Another thing happened, because of this 2G scam, our telecom industry lost 10 years. We had literally minimalistic 4G rollout, and 5G was out of the picture. Now today, if you compare, we have the highest and the fastest 5G rollout in the world, and we are preparing for 6G. And 6G most probably will be our own technology. So that is one more, one point she highlighted. Then if you look at the inflation, as I've been always telling you, inflation in UPA tenure was double-digit inflation. Now today we are talking somewhere around 5%. If you look at the food production, it was all-time low. If we talk of today, it was all-time high. If you talk of the currency which was printed, and if you talk of the fake notes were coming into the system, that was mind-boggling. And if you talk about the mismanagement of funds, when you look at the physical deficit of the budgets, they were completely out of control. If you look at the money which was put on social schemes, what Rajiv Gandhi rightly said once, कि मैं दिल्ली से 1 रुपए भेजता हूँ 15 पैसे पहुंचते, even 15 पैसे we used to reach, and you were happy with it. You did nothing to change the system. If I talk of the Aadhaar cards, you got in the Aadhaar cards, you got them into the stream, but you left them there. You didn't want to do anything about the Aadhaar cards. All the flagship projects of 𝗤𝗏𝗼 𝗓𝗡 were stalled, including the Golden Triangle. If you remember, there was a Golden Triangle. And of
it
people
was a golden quadrilateral. Sumitji, golden quadrilateral.
Correct. So that was stopped. Even if you remember, the people who lived in Delhi, there were a lot of signages around 𝗏𝗏 and they were immediately covered. Immediately they got covered. So because it was from 𝗤𝗏𝗼 𝗓𝗡, it had to be stopped. There was nothing called Atmanirbhar Bharat. There was nothing called Make in India. There was nothing really happening. We were even buying the bulletproof jackets from Italy. Not specifically Italy, but because we had this cut and commission which we wanted. We did not buy
There's a scam in that also, Sirji. There's a scam in that also. We published it in PGurus. They were buying discarded bulletproof jackets with holes in them.
Holes in them. You're absolutely right. Yeah. And I didn't want to bring this up, but if you look at some of the old videos of the Indian Army, how many people are you really seeing wearing a bulletproof jacket? Yes. Just go and watch. Go do a Google. See how many people with a gun and a bulletproof jacket. You would find people with the gun but no bulletproof jacket. So we lost a lot of lives due to that. And where was this missile system? Where was our squadrons were depleting? If you talk of the Sukhoi, the availability of the Sukhoi squadron had dropped to 45%, which is now 95%. So there were all the things which could have gone wrong, did go wrong. And out of these 90 odd points, 48 points are basically how did Congress mismanage the system and what did they do to kind of mess the system up. A lot of things were intentional. We were not building the border roads because we were told that NCLT, this Green Tribunal, has to give approval to build a road to Pagong. There was something called as the infamous Jayanti tax, which was there, which we all know was covered widely by media. Then Jairam Rameshji will not give you approval to build a hydropower project in the whole of Northeast because China will be upset. Mr. AK, and then he will tell you, do not build any road to China because that's the only way to protect your borders from China. So, and Mr. Manmohan Singh will tell you, Dr. Saab will tell you, it is coalition dharma. Let the status quo. People from DMK always wanted, right. People from DMK always wanted a telecom ministry only. DMK wanted Barans and all. They wanted telecom ministry also. Some people, NCP wanted agriculture ministry also. Even the ministries were divided. And you remember the ordinance which Manmohan Singh ji bought, how Rahul Gandhi tore it and threw it on literally on his face and walked away. So that was the state of affairs. So what happened? India's economy, the kind of a aura it had shattered. The India is a country of reforms, it had shattered. In India, the reforms are happening at a fast pace, it had shattered. And let's not talk about IIT, IIMs, hospitals. Everything was status quo, nothing changed. So these were some of the main points which she brought up. I mean, I might have missed one or two, but these were some of the main points which she brought up. Now, let me take you to the other side of the story. There's the other side of the story. Now, it was yesterday, Prime Minister Modi, really brought some very beautiful points. I want to share them with you. Then after economy started opening up, after demonetization happened, I don't know one thing. I have to touch on this. When we did the demonetization, somebody was thrown by ISI from a top of a 10th floor building and he committed suicide or was killed. 𝗤𝗏𝗼 something. Now there were 40,000 of
𝗤𝗏𝗼𝗏𝗍𝗏 Khanani.
He had crores of farji notes printed with him. What happened? We did the demonetization and Pakistan ki economy ki kamar toot gayi. The back of the Pakistani economy was broken by our demonetization. If demonetization were wrong, our economy should have we should have broken the back of our economy. How come Pakistan's economy had got its back broken? How come Pakistan went into this perennial spin of debt traps? How come people like Hurriyat and all had to close their shop? How come this Nakli notes were, kind of not coming into India? And how come this Pakistan was buying, I think, 2.5 times or 3 times the paper which it needed for printing its own currency? How come the machines went there? And how come the notes were printed out of India? Now today we are printing all the notes in India. We're not printing notes out of India. Sree Iyer sir has written a beautiful book. You must read it. How all that was done and how beautifully it was managed for Pakistan. It was given on a platter to Pakistan. Sir, you want to add something on that? This is a very important point people should understand.
Yes. So there are a couple of books, viewers. The first one is, of course, the bestseller, Who Painted My Money White? Then recently I came out with another one called Paper In, Money Out. Because, see, you have to understand one thing. It cannot be a coincidence, okay? 1992, when the Narasimha Rao government, 1991, Narasimha Rao government comes to power. And guess who was the Minister of State for Commerce? Mr. Chidambaram. He never went away from commerce or finance. Never. It didn't matter which coalition was in power. He was always the finance minister. See, what happened was in 1991, he became the Minister of State for Commerce. He got involved in a scam. And on moral grounds, he resigned. And Narasimha Rao ji, the Chanakya that he was, he immediately accepted his resignation. It took 2 more years for him to come back. Every day, people calling up, Chidambaram ko le lo, Chidambaram ko le lo. And Narasimha Rao ji never went and watched, he would never go to visit Sonia Gandhi. So she was pissed off. That's the only word I can say. That and finally, he had to take Chidambaram back in 1994. 1996, coalition, 𝗤𝙜𝗲𝙁 becomes the prime minister. Guess who is the finance minister? Chidambaram. Then what happens? This guy comes to power, that joker, French beard. I'm trying to remember the name.
Gujral.
Inder Kumar Gujral. He used to be coffee sipping in India, ICC center. हमेशा चाय coffee पीते थे. Suddenly one day Harkishan Singh Surjit comes and says, okay, get ready, come with me, you are the next Prime Minister of India. That's how he became Prime Minister. Least offensive for the whole group. And guess who is the Finance Minister? Again Chidambaram. By the time he had got the media in his hands, they say his is the dream budget. Wow, dream budget. Then you have to go and look at this movie called The Accidental Prime Minister. In The Accidental Prime Minister, there is a narrator. And I think that is Baru Garu. Sanjay Baru is the narrator.
Sanjay Baru, yeah.
Beautiful. The way he portrays that is very well done. One of the best movies of Akshay Khanna. And he talks about the day before the swearing-in ceremony, where he has been requested by Manmohan Singh to be his press advisor. And he also says that Manmohan Singh says that I am going to be the finance minister as well as the prime minister. And in this party, it comes out saying that no, you are not going to be the finance minister. It is going to be Chidambaram. Again. So go and look at the Accidental Prime Minister movie. You'll see that section that it comes in that. So somehow it didn't matter. It's like, you threw up a cat. The cat always comes and falls on its legs. It always falls on its leg. Same way, it didn't matter which coalition was in power. Mr. Chidambaram was a finance minister.
By de facto.
Nobody wants to ask this question. He has single-handedly ruined India's stock markets, India's banking, India's economy, and of course he also was the one who was selling used currency printing equipment to Pakistan. Buy the paper from the same source, De La Rue.
Most important point, sir. This is where I wanted you to put your expert opinion on this. This is what is in the book. You have to read the book. I mean, this was an open and shut case. I mean, there was no second thoughts on it. How was happening? How was Pakistan facilitated? How did it all reach Pakistan? It was all, given on a platter. That's why I said it was given on a platter. Lo bhai, yellow. It was given on a platter to Pakistan. And when the demonetization happened, that is why people had to commit suicide in Pakistan, because they never expected this to happen. And there was not a whimper of it in the air, whisper in the air. So that is why they said. I'm coming to that, Phoenix ji. I'm coming to that. So with all these things happening, now Prime Minister Modi, let's go back to the parliament. This is what Nirmala ji had to say. Prime Minister Modi made quite few remarks and gave some interesting data. The first he said that Congress के युवराज के पास एक ऐसा startup है जो ना start हुआ ना launch हुआ. So for Congress का युवराज, that is Rahul Gandhi ji, this party is a startup, and it's such a startup. Neither it is launched, neither it has stood. So it is. So he's still trying. So why are you trying to relaunch a failed product again and again and again? Then that was the pun of it. Then what does he say? He said, "Let me clarify something important things for you. First thing they have said, because of economy. They said, the first thing they said, okay, State Bank of India is ruined. State Bank of India is ruined. Now, if you look at the numbers of State Bank of India, it's because of Ambani, Adani, especially Adani and Modi. The State Bank of India is ruined. If you look at the State Bank of India's numbers, highest profit. If you look at the valuation, it's the highest valuation. It is the number one PSU asset in the whole world. Number one PSU asset in the whole world. There's no other PSU asset in the whole world except State Bank of India. So if Adani got the State Bank empty, so what happened to the State Bank? Second thing he mentioned about was the LIC, Life and Preparation Corp. I can't agree, Ranga sir, more. I agree with you, right? So second was, what he talked about was the LIC. They say LIC is gone, LIC is gone. Aapka paisa gaya, mera paisa gaya. If you and me die, we'll not get the money. LIC is siphoned. All the money is taken out by Ambani, Adani especially. If you look at LIC, the share is at all-time high. The money and the profits are at all-time high, and the market cap is all-time high. That is number two. Number three, he mentioned about. He said, look, there is always this, there's always a canard which is being spread. Modi ne sab bech diya, PSU bech diya, right? So that is what the canard is going around. He said, look, in 2014, there were 234 PSUs. 234 PSUs. In 2024, there are 254 PSUs. Bhai, aap kis madrasa mein padh ke aaye ho? He didn't say madrasa, I'm telling you. Which madrasa have you been taught wherein 254 is lesser than 234? If Modi is selling PSUs and PSUs and PSUs, how is the number of PSUs more than what it was in 2014? How is 2054 less than 200? Less than 234? So there has been an increase in the PSUs. So that is the point which Prime Minister Modi is trying to make. That's an important point. Point number two, the profit of PSUs was 1,25,000 crores. Today, it is 2,50,000 crores. The profit has doubled. And third important point, the valuation of these PSUs was around 7 lakh crores. It is now 90 lakh crores. It has gone 12 times. 12 guna, 12 times. And Modi has ruined PSUs. Modi has sold everything. Modi has looted the country. And so how is this possible? These are hardcore numbers. Then he talked about the HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Because I want to take you some practical examples so that you are able to correlate it better and, validate the information. Now, HAL, he said that people who destroyed HAL, who dismantled HAL when HAL was really in a financial stress, in 2019, they went to the gates of HAL and wanted to do their election campaigning from there. He was looking at Mr. Rahul Gandhi, who went to the HAL to campaign. Now, today, look at HAL. HAL has order book. Order book means your balance orders, which are worth billions of dollars. HAL is increasing its production double times, triple times. HAL has order books which can last for years together. HAL's profit is all-time high. HAL's market capitalization is all-time high. HAL's share value is all-time high, or return to investors is all-time high. Not only that, HAL is the company which has set up the biggest helicopter manufacturing unit in whole of Asia, and that is under Prime Minister Modi. What was told about HAL? Because of Anil Ambani, Modi has compromised HAL. Modi has cannibalized HAL to give it the money to Anil Ambani. Now that is about the HAL. So PSUs, HAL, LIC, SBI. Now all he has just stated out. Now, this is how the propaganda and the canards were spent. And let me tell you about what Nirmala ji told today, and let me correlate with what Prime Minister Modi said yesterday. They talked about this BSNL and all. BSNL was dismantled, was literally dismantled. Dismantled. Now, from ruins, BSNL is now dealing with 4G and 5G rollouts in the country. Soon, BSNL will be exporting networks to other countries for 4G and 5G rollout. If there was no 2G, correlate with what Nirmala ji said today. If there was no 2G scam, BSNL would be at a different place. They ruined BSNL. Then he talks about another thing. Who ruined Air India? In whose tenure Air India got bankrupt? Whose tenure Air India was literally rooted and robbed? And whose tenure there was all the profitable routes given to all these Etihads and Etisalad's of the Etihads and Emirates of the day? Who gave those routes? It was under the UPA. How did Air India become bankrupt, and what have you done with Air India? Today, Air India is regenerated. Today, same Air India, under the leadership of Ratan Tata ji, whom I have greatest respect for, has placed the biggest aircraft order in the whole country. If that was not the case, and if you have the Chinese MOU signed, now the God would have saved you. Look, that Air India is going to become one of the top 3 carriers in the world, even by the aircraft fleet. I think it's already number 5th now or 4th now in the world. Now, when they are buying more aircrafts and after Air, I won't be surprised after American Airlines and one more American airline, I think it's Delta or somebody, or Continental, Air India will come
United,
to second.
I think. United, I think.
United, yeah.
American because United bought Continental, so it became the biggest airline.
Yeah. Correct, biggest airline. So after United and American Airlines, Air India will be the 3rd airline. So this is what he has done to Air India. This Air India was wherein people were not getting salary. So this is what he has done to Air India. Now tell me, for the sake of God, how has this lessened the value of the country, and how has it lessened the GDP of the country? And let's not talk about a GST. Now under GST, you have one nation, one tax, one rule, and now you're talking of on an average 175 lakh crores of GST collected every month. Dude, could anybody imagine that? I'm giving you hardcore numbers today, and everything is here. I don't have any notes. I'm giving you hardcore numbers today. Could anybody imagine what this number? Imagine your digital India, Jandan, Aadhaar, mobile. If you didn't have these crores of Jandan accounts, which have 2.57 lakh crores of savings of the poor man in them, how could you get them into the banking system when 80% of the people never had a banking account? How will the DBT work? How will the Ayushman Bharat and all this work? Nothing will work. How will you give Kisan Samman Nidhi? How will a Lakhpati Didi work? How will a Drone Didi work? How will these DBTs work? How will scholarships work? How will the benefit for the girl child world? Because there is no way you had an account. How could that work? It would be you have to go, bhai gaon ke sarpanch se le lo, then you know how it works. Then Aadhaar getting it mandatory, updating it, getting the, getting your election card tagged with Aadhaar, that's it. Mobiles, when in 2013, you were net importer of mobiles. By 2024, you are the world's second biggest exporter of mobiles. You have exported more than $10 billion of worth of mobiles to the world. Now, not only that, with semiconductor coming in next 5 years, you are going to have a made in Bharat semiconductor, which will go into everything. And now we already have a OS, which is Bharat, which is going into these phones. And all the phones in the military will be run on Bharat OS. It will be neither Apple, neither Android. It will be on the Bharat OS. And that is how you will keep your military comms secure. So these are some of the things. And on the top of that, you can give all the galis to Ambani ji. Mukesh Ambani ko aap roz gali dete hai, Rahul Gandhi. But tell me, this Mukesh Ambani got you the Jio, which got you the cheapest MB price in the whole world, cheapest telephone price in the whole world. Now, if you don't have a Jio, and if you had those MB prices which were there, now the prices are down to, I think 12 times they are down by what they was 10 or 12 years back. So if that was not possible, if mobile was not made in India, how could you have a digital India? How could you have a digital revolution? How will Jandan, Aadhaar and mobile work? There is no way it could have worked. If that could have not worked, how would the e-governance work? How will the corruption be eliminated? How will you eliminate these tons of middlemen? And how will you save billions of dollars which are going to the middleman in the process and not reaching the poor? How will you be able to connect the poor? And I'm telling you, it's not long. You might be even able to vote with an app. It is not far off. Take my word, I'm telling you today. I see it next 5 to 10 years, this will happen. You will not, you may not need to go to a voting station with your all biometrics and all. You'll be able to vote from your mobile. That will change the elections. That will change the politics of India for good. You might not need to campaign. And even on the media, all the campaigns can be run. There may not be need of rallies and all. Now, if GST was not done, where will you get 1.75 lakh crores? Sir, you were saying something.
Sumit, we are about 30 minutes into our talk, and maybe if you could wind up in about a minute or so, that'll be great. Viewers, I just want to show you a quick way to auto-subscribe to our channel. This is a film that we are going to, this is just a teaser. It's very, very simple. It tells you how to do it exactly. And if with your permission, just give me 1 second, Sumitji. I want to show this thing for our viewers. So I'm looking at the like count. As always, we are around 1,200 people watching now, and the like is like 400 or so, 1 in 3.
No, please, like her. Please
So
like, sir. It helps us to reach our message to a lot more people. That's a national service. Please like that.
You guys don't know how much back-end struggles we are going through right now, guys, because what has happened is some people know how to game the system. And if you go to YouTube, you will see iPhone racks. That means 5,000 iPhones in just one small building. What they do is all these 5,000 iPhones have different IP addresses. IP address is like your telephone number. Very simple. Okay, 5,000 different IP addresses. Okay, what they do is there'll be one computer that will say this is wrong information. This is bad. This is hate speech. Doesn't have to be hate speech. The target is that particular video that might not be good for a particular segment. The moment 5,000 such messages come on the video, immediately an algorithm kicks in and says, "Acha, isko virality kam karo. Reduce the virality of this video." How do you counter that? The only way to counter it is the system also sees how many likes are coming for this video. If the likes can counter that, then the virality doesn't suffer. Because I can tell you, Sumit ji commands 3 times this audience. Unfortunately, when he comes on PGurus, he only gets 1/3 the audience. You do the math, guys. That's all it is. I'm not begging you. Sumit ji is not begging you. It is just that we have figured this out. This is what is happening in the back end. And YouTube cannot do much about it. They are investigating to try and make sure. But if it is 5,000 genuine IP addresses, what can anyone do?
Correct.
Right. So this is not easy to solve also. So I'm not blaming anybody. It's not easy to solve. But there is a way to solve it. And that's all we are asking you to do. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Sir, now these are some of the hard facts I put in the domain so that you could correlate with what Nirmala ji was saying today and what Prime Minister has said yesterday. And I put the numbers to it. Now, another thing I want to make clear, in IPC or in any law of the land, if the cash is not recovered, that doesn't mean the crime never happened. Look, in Bofors, was the cash recovered? In 2G, was the cash recovered? Was CWG, was the cash recovered? Does it mean crime did not happen? In the Colgate, was the cash recovered? No, the cash might be laundered out of the country. Cash might have reached the Seychelles. Cash might have reached any country for that. I'm not trying to take name Seychelles, any country for that matter. It might be laundered in a few Swiss banks. So if you don't receive the cash, the notion which is being built, bhai paisa to mila nahi. What does that mean, paisa nahi mila? If cash is not received or laundered the money, or that doesn't mean the crime has not happened. That is the important thing, which is a canard which is being spread right now. Paisa nahi mila. That doesn't mean the crime has not happened. That's one important thing. Another thing I want to talk to you, because we don't have a lot of time, we have been talking about, we want to talk about what is the Modi's Vision 3.0. Now, I've been trying to connect the dots between what the Prime Minister said and what the Nirmala ji said. How do they add up? Now, another important thing is what did the Prime Minister say? What is in Modi's 3.0? Modi's 3.0 is going to lay the foundation for next 1,000 years. How the India will go. Modi's 3.0 is going to lay the foundation for Viksit Bharat. Modi's 3.0 is going to make the economy by 2030 $8 trillion. And what I've been talking about by 2047, we'll be talking at least $35 trillion. And Mr. Amitabh Kant is also today talking on the same lines. So that is what it is going to look like. Now, what do you get tangibly? The first thing which you are going to get, there will be many more medical colleges opened up. So the number of doctors available to you for your health will be many times increased, because the medical colleges are increased at an alarming rate. Secondly, the cost of getting medicine will be the lowest. Not medicine. The health will be lowest in the India. Health will be lowest in the India. We are already talking of a unified health portal which will work on blockchain and which will have all the things which you need from your record certificate. It will be a plug and play thing. Anywhere in India, your health will be taken care of. Jan Aushadhi is the biggest revolution what Prime Minister Modi has done at a global level. Jan Aushadhi is going to become the norm of the day. And if you compare the medicines, let's say there's a tablet which costs 100 rupees in US. In India, it costs around 10 rupees. In Jan Aushadhi, it costs 1 rupee. So we are talking for 100 to 1. So India will become the de facto best destination of the world vis-a-vis healthcare. One more point. If the GST is around Prime Minister Modi did not say it, let me clarify, it's my assessment. If the GST will reach around 2.5 lakh crores, which it is bound to reach, then I think Ayushman Bharat will be made given to all, and everybody will have to accept Ayushman Bharat. So you will have a 7 lakh rupees insurance with you, which is free of cost, and you will have a Jan Aushadhi where the medicines are literally, I can say, free for the sake of argument. So that is what is happening on the insurance. Point number 2, on the aviation, you will get the best roads, you will get the best amenities. That is for sure. On the roads, this is these iPhone racks.
This is a server farm of phones. This is in somebody's house, and this is in United States. And you can see here about 100. What this person is doing is they are using this to put false ads to make money. There is somebody who is willing to pay you if you can put false ads in various places. And they tell you, okay, you go to this site and you put this thing, and everything is programmed. All you need to do is give them the space, and you invest in the phones, and then you set it up this way. You see that big box on the top of all the phones, that is the server network, and it sets it up. Everything is set up, and there is a software that will run, and that will go and start putting fake ads. Now, you've been also seeing about all these morph videos also, right? Pretty soon, you will start seeing Sumit ji doing some things that he is never supposed to do. Don't believe it until Sumit ji denies it.
This is all happening, and when they don't even leave celebrities, so hamari kya auqat hai? Second thing is, these are the videos used for fake comments. These are the videos used to stop people like us from speaking the truth. These are exactly the instruments which are used to have those false comments and likes and those false comments on various videos and increase their virality of the ISI propaganda, lipstick, nail polish. They are in contact with those server guys. Now let's come back to our discussion. Now, another thing which are going to happen is you will have the best of the roads. By in the next third term, Modi ki guarantee hai you will be the third in the top 3 economies in the world. So within 12, I think this will happen in next 2 years. In 2 years, you will be the top 3 economies of the world. Now, in 2030, your GDP will be 8 trillion. So in 6 years, you are going to add 4 trillion more. Another thing, you will have the best of the roads. Har ghar nal. Everybody in India will get drinking water by nal. No hand pump, no tanker, you will get by nal. That's another thing. Even so, this is health, this is nal. Education will see major reforms, and foreign universities which you are going right now, which we have as a middle class, upper middle class, or rich, or lower middle class, as a dream to send our kids to the, let's say, for a Harvard, Stanford, and all. In next term, most of them, or almost all of them will have campuses here. So what costs you $100,000 per year today can be done in $10,000. So not only middle class, but the lower middle class or the class below that can also afford to get the best of the education for their kids in India. So these universities will be coming to India. That was announced. Now, if you talk about the UDAN, if the UDAN prices will be in such a way, the aviation will be done in such a way, every Indian would have an option of traveling by train or flying. So that is how the, already Operation UDAN and all, but the things will be done in such a way we all will have an option either by train. There are a lot of routes even today we choose between a train and a flight. It's not the flight is here and the train is here. No, there is a, it's something like here. So this delta will be made smaller. So every Indian would be able to fly. Your health, and all the people who do not have houses, mind my words, all the people who do not have houses and who deserve a house. And I'm not talking of Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai. It's for all. Anybody, any Indian. They will get the houses. They will get the houses under Pradhan Mantri Yojana. So by the third term, you will not have people without a house. And let me remind you, 25 crore people. 25 crore people have been taken out of the poverty. Now there are, I think, 1.2 or 1.5 crore people left, which is a month of matters, will be taken out of the poverty. 80 crore people are getting free rations. And if my ears heard me right, or my eyes are seeing something, which I cannot confirm, but I can tell you, Zarur, I am seeing something called Bharat rice at 39 rupees a kilo. I am seeing some Bharat atta at 18 rupees a kilo. So this Bharat rice and Bharat atta will be for all. When people say, what were you doing with so much of food? Why did you why did you back out on the Kisan rules? And why did you not do this? Why did you not do this? I told you everything is done in national interest. So you might get rice and atta at literally peanuts, and this will be guaranteed. So your medicine, your rice, your atta, your makan, and another thing. All of India will not pay Bijli ka bill. No, I am not talking about heating and air conditioners. I am talking Bijli ka bill, lightning bills, because you will have those solar panels across country installed, and the people who have the space, they will not only not pay their Bijli ka bill, they will be also able to generate power which they can sell to the national grid. So your Bijli, your health, your travel, your education, your medicine, your insurance, your makan, your peene ka pani, and your quality of life. And with it, Bharat made semiconductor will be powering anything in India, and will have a target of doing $300+ billion for electronics exports. These are the major takeaways. There are a lot of them, but I could have to, because I have to also look at time. These are the major takeaways which I could summarize for you. And what is my idea here? My idea here is to talk vis-a-vis roti kapda makan. No, the basics, what a common man. I'm the common man. What do I look, Sumitji? What is it for me? I'm not interested in your 20 years, 50 years, 2047. Next 5 saal mein mere ko kya milega? What I'm going to get in next 5 years? This is exactly what you will get in next 5 years, what I told you right now. And this is not from me. There's no analysis here. This is what the Honorable Prime Minister has promised you on the floor of the House, that is in the Parliament of India. And I'm just kind of repeating that on, kind of arranging the facts in a sequential manner. That is what I'm doing. And I've been tried my best to relate what Nirmala ji said today, what Prime Minister said today, and what is the Vision 3.0. And if you watch this broadcast vlog once again, then you will be able to relate all the points. You'll be able to relate, the efforts I've been trying to make a sequential map of the things, so that what is in it for me, mere ko bhai kya milega? Bhai aapko ye milega, behen aapko ye milega, mere dost aapko ye milega. So that was my whole idea and effort today. What do I get out of it? 35 trillion, that's all on the track. But what do I get in next 5 years? What should my mother, father, sister, brother expect? What should me and my wife and my kids expect? This is what you should expect, and this is what will be delivered. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, Sumitji. And I wanted to add one little thing that Sumitji mentioned about Bharat rice and Bharat atta. About a couple of years ago or a year ago, India signed a deal for its export of food grains to UAE. The clause that India added was that UAE cannot re-export it. You know why? Because it was going back to Pakistan.
And China.
This nalayak namune that you call as Pakistan, right? They won't take anything from India, but they will take it coming through UAE.
Sir, वही है ना, मैं आपको बताऊं हिंदी में
नमूने हैं.
सर 30 रुपए का आलू यूएई से 300 रुपए में लेंगे. Aloo of 30 rupees, they want to buy from UAE for 300 rupees because generals want to make money, sir. She said, namune nahi hai, they're businessmen. Generals want to make money, not 270 rupees for the general. Topi wala aise. They're the only country in the world where a suited general does. That's what they do. I mean, these are the crooks of first order. I don't know how better.
They have kept the population dumb by just having one mantra: hate India, hate India, hate India, hate India, hate India. Bas. Or kuch nahi. This is all the country is.
Taqwa, iman, jihad, fi-sabilillah. That is what they do. Iman, taqwa, jihad, fi-sabilillah. And that is what they do. So
anyway, we are going to have a detailed discussion about Pakistan elections and everything else around it in just a half an hour's time. So let's take some questions now, Sumitji.
I hope I'm able to put everything in a perspective in a short span of time. The time was very less.
Yes, it was wonderful. It was wonderful, Sumitji. There was so much to cover and there is only so limited time. Thank you guys for responding. The like counts have gone up. It has come close to 1,000 now. And this is really needed. I can't tell you more. We have choices. Many of us have many channels to look at. Perhaps many of us are saying the same thing in different words. What makes PGurus different is because we also critique even the Modi government. We critique. Today morning, I had put out a report card, hits and misses of the Modi government. Please do watch that. We're not just saying everything is hunky-dory. There are some things that can be done better. Should have been done, did not get done. For example, BJP's own Karyakartas got destroyed in West Bengal for working for West Bengal after 2021 elections. Where is the retribution for that? I'm still waiting to see. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. Let's go to questions now. RGB116 wants to know, please elaborate on Modi's foundation for 1,000 years. What could be those steps which can be so long-lasting? Ram Mandir?
एक राम मंदिर होगा, दूसरा काशी मथुरा होगा. Third thing, you will expect fundamental changes in the law. I'm telling you, it's August. Mark my words today. July, August of 2024, you will expect fundamental changes of the law. I cannot detail out. I have some idea what might happen. I have no access to PMO. I don't go and have tea and coffee there. I don't know what happens there. So I don't claim like others. I have. मैं वहाँ जाके चाय पी के आता हूँ. I don't know. And it's not a chai ki tapri where somebody can have a tea and अच्छा मोदी जी ये करे शाम को बताऊंगा YouTube पे. It doesn't work like that. So, but I know for sure there will be fundamental changes in the law. There'll be fundamental reforms which will pull India out, because as I've been telling you, 8 trillion is a QR, and at 10 trillion you are a force to reckon with. You are a force who can set your own terms and conditions. So I think that 8 trillion I can see, my gut is I can see almost there by the end of the tenure. It's not going to be 30, it's going to be 29. I can see that 8 trillion almost happening. And then you will talk of another set of reforms. So there will be major changes in the law, major reforms announced, and they will happen in the first few months of the government only.
Big bang. Thank you, 𝗣𝗚𝗂𝘁. Any whereabouts of Rachit Sab Loktantra Baba?
I really don't know what is this.
Yeah, no idea. Magnet Rangaji पूछ रहे हैं, Jai Shri Ram. Mamata says Congress cannot cross 40 seats. Is it an optimistic analysis? Will Congress even get 40?
Sir, Mamata Didi is very large-hearted. She had just put the 0 just to make it look pleasant. You have to just take out the 0. Piche wala 0 nikalo. That is a single digit is a possibility. And you might not, Saranga sir, don't be surprised if you see the Congress and Visitors Gallery. That is also possible. Visitor Gallery. Chai vai pee ke jayenge.
Ranganath avare, your state is the one biggest culprit. Fix it, please. Karnataka. Next one. Chaitanya Takle wants to know, will Kejriwal escape to London like Nawaz Sharif and rule from there?
Sir, this is not Pakistan, sir. That is possible in Pakistan, not in Hindustan. Now, we have discussed about the new law. There's something called trial in absentia now. You can go to any country and live even in Robinson Crusoe's island where nobody can find you. But here, the law of the land will catch on with whoever the person is. Let it be Kejriwal, me, or Sree Iyer, or yourself, whoever it is. It will catch on. No problem.
Kesar, YouTuber jailed for speaking about Kejriwal's son, Rachit Babu.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, now I get the context. I heard about it, which is very unfortunate. You know, people have their opinions, people have their things, but that doesn't mean they should be jailed, and this is misuse of power, and people are watching it. You see, you cannot scuffle the voices. The truth has a billion ways of coming out. There's something I write about. Somebody said, there are 1 billion doors to the death. How many can you close? There are 10 billion doors of truth. How many can you jail? How many can you put in the prison? And now this has become more. Now everybody will want to see that video. What has he said? Right? So these are the things which does not. And I think I now know. I think he is somewhere in a jail in Punjab, and there's some FIR launched and all. Now I get the context. Which are you talking about, Mr.? I think
they can only put him in Punjab, right? They can only put him in Punjab. That is their satellite government. See, look, this is not new, 𝗣𝗚𝗂𝘁, and this is not new. DMK has been doing it. 3 of my good friends who are all right-wingers or center of right, all of them went through the jail experience. This is the main ones: Kartik Gopinath, Maridas, and Kishore Swamy. And now Kartik is in BJP. He is going full speed. Kishore Swamy, I think, is in ADMK, is helping. He's promoting ADMK now. And Maridas continuing a solo effort. He's not taken any side. He continues to be risk. And one of the things that he brought out was something that even, it's okay. The less said, the better. Whatever it is, this is something that is being taken out of DMK's playbook. So what ended up happening? Their biggest moneymaker, the DK Shivkumar of TN, Sendil Balaji, in jail. The biggest moneymaker for AAP, Satyendra Jain, where is he? In jail. Next biggest or second biggest is that guy. Biggest was Sisodia. Where is he? In jail. Sabka number aa raha hai. Kejriwal is not very far away.
I have to tell you one thing. Remind people, our friends, of one thing. Modi ji ne kya bola? Bola, choro ka gungan mat karo. Choro ka gungan mat karo. Who is convicted as a chor. He's used the word chori. He's otherwise very careful with the language. Second thing he said, जिसने देश से लूटा है उसको लौटाना पड़ेगा. जिसने भी देश से लूटा उसको लौटाना पड़ेगा. Now, when you talk of Air India, there are a lot of people who come into the frame. Lot of people come into the frame. So I think the message is loud and clear. जिसने भी देश से लूटा है उसको लौटाना पड़ेगा. So फिर करण अर्जुन आएंगे. अब नवील से करण अर्जुन, ED and CBI. I've been always telling you, they are there. I made this money from the public of India, from the country of India. There's the agency of India which comes and takes it back. So what is there? Why are you so rattled about ED and CBI, bhai? I mean, how has your home and my home been raided by ED and CBI? What is there to raid? क्या करोगे यहाँ आके? So the question is that when people said, she said the agony of the countries, people talk about ED and CBI, but they do not talk about how much have they recovered and how much of cash have they recovered. Nobody talks about that. ED, CBI, but what about the money they recover? What about the properties they recover? Right? Where is the ED's office in Mumbai? Somebody go and find that. कहाँ है ED का office Mumbai में? देखो, पता लगेगा.
That's it for today, and viewers will be back again in 30 minutes time on a Hindi episode about our favorite neighbor, Pakistan, and their elections there, or should you say selections. We'll have some details for you. The army will always want a weak government at the center so that they can jerk them around back and forth. If it is a weak majority for PMLN, it is going to be Shehbaz Sharif. If it is going to be a strong majority for PMLN, it is going to be Nawaz Sharif. That is what my take is. We'll see who goes right, who's wrong, who's going to be the PM in just half an hour's time. Thank you once again, Sumit ji, and please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, viewers. And don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.
Namaskar, Sadhuvan, and Bharat Mata ki jai. And as always, with the blessings of Mahadev, Hara 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 Mahadev.
Mahadev. Thank you.